On the channel, Jakks Classic Superstars Tag Teams Series 3. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to our weekly deep dive on Jakks Classic Superstars. Today we've come to Jakks Classic Superstars Series 3. Still got a ways to go. We talk about it every week. We still got to do the deluxe aggressions. We got to do the 3-packs, the rest of the 2-packs, limited edition, the rings, the ring giants, 1 of 100s, 1 of 25s, all that fun stuff. A lot to come on these Jakks Classic Superstars videos, but hopefully you're enjoying these so far. And like I said, today we're doing Jakks Classic Superstars Tag Team Series 3, which is a Toys R Us exclusive, if most of you guys know. Maybe some of you don't, but they were a Toys R Us exclusive. And same rule applied for me back with the other 2 videos if you watched those. These were total surprise on the shelves. I don't remember hearing leaked confirmation of these. It's not like Jakks said, hey, coming soon. Basically, it was if you were in a wrestling fandom Facebook group, I guess it wouldn't have been Facebook group back then. It would have been just like a wrestling figure internet board or whatever they call them back then. But that's how we found out about figures like these. Somebody would find them and post. And usually back in the day, it always seemed like California was the first place to get stuff. Really weird. Back in the 90s, 2000s, California always got stuff first. I don't know if it was because it was coming from China on boats and it would start there and work its way. Now it's a little kamikaze. It's kind of all over the place where places get things first. But back then it was California. You get a message online and somebody would say, oh, I found the Bushwackers. And that's how you knew they existed. That is how it worked with these Toys R Us 2-packs. Very, very strange. I think part of the fact was Jakks didn't have to promote these and get hype around them because the ones that they sold in all stores, they had to get the hype machine around. These were Toys R Us exclusives. Toys R Us signed up saying, we're going to buy 5,000, 10,000, whatever units of everything. It was all pre-sold to Jakks. So it wasn't up to Jakks to promote the line. It was more up to Toys R Us to promote the line because they have the exclusive. They've committed. Jakks, hey, we sent them out. We wash our hands. It's all you guys now. That's kind of how I viewed it at the time with Toys R Us. That's why we didn't get a lot of this heads up, this is coming type things. But anyways, I am glad we did, and I love the element of surprise. But I would be a liar to you guys if I didn't say that this next set here was a little bit of a letdown again. I love this Bushwackers set, and we'll talk a little bit about the Bushwackers. But seeing the 3 teams that they put in this line again, Series 1 we talked about was amazing. Heart Foundation, LOD, the Rockers. Talk about starting out hot. That's exactly what they did. I mean, Marty Jannetty, he was rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling all over the place, and it was just a hot set. And then Series 2 came, and it wasn't tag teams. It was basically a battle pack or an adrenaline pack with kind of classic guys. Pretty let down. So then Series 3, I didn't know what to think. I didn't even know if there was going to be a Series 3, but then we saw it. I remember distinctly seeing the Bushwackers on the pegs first, and my mind was immediately blown. Obviously, I was a kid. I can't say that the Bushwackers were my favorite tag team as a kid. They were goofy, comedic relief, all that fun stuff. But obviously an iconic tag team from back in the day. It definitely deserves a Class Superstar spot. So I took that off. I was like, holy cow, it's the Bushwackers. But then I saw the other 2 sets, and we'll get to those. I was a little more down on those sets, I guess, at the time, and we'll talk about them as we get to them. But let's talk about the Bushwackers first. Like I said, I was excited to get the Bushwackers. I think it's cool. I still like this set a whole lot today. It's funny as, you know, a lot of people on the internet, oh, the Bushwackers, they were so good as the sheep herders. And I don't know any kids of my age, in my age bracket, that knew who the sheep herders were as a kid. UWF and a lot of that stuff wasn't up in my way. No, everybody knew them as the Bushwackers, and obviously today most people do. But totally crazy is like me and like a lot of you guys that probably went back and seen sheep herders matches, totally different characters, you would say. But very, very cool. The Bushwackers, not being my favorite, but definitely iconic tag team from the 80s and definitely fits in this line. So I was happy to get it. Makes me wonder, could we ever get a sheep herders one day? I doubt it. But if there is a new classic line one day, I think that would be really cool, given the old New Zealand flag. I'd love to see something like that. But anyways, here we are with the Bushwackers. We know the packaging. We love it at this point. There it is. We got the gold star up there. I don't believe this says Collector's Series, and then in French, Série pour Collectionneur. I don't know. I don't speak French, but there it is. And there they are. I love the camo on them. Obviously, this is what they wore. Nice touch. It does come with hats. It is just reuse hats. We've seen these in the Ruthless Aggression line a million times. No teeth marks on them or anything. Mattel was really good to do that. They kind of made the teeth marks in them. And I think, didn't Hasbro too? Maybe I'm dreaming. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But 2 plain hats, I guess better than nothing. But the real head scratcher there was all the food. You got a neon green soft drink. You got a pack of French fries. You got a hamburger. I think that's a hamburger. Or a barbecue pork sandwich, one or the other. And then you got a pizza box. So I don't know what they're saying. If they're saying the Bushwackers were junk food junkies, I don't know. They just kind of weird. You guys know those classic and Jakks gimmicks they always put with stuff. We've got crazy stories about it, and I'm sure there's a crazy story with this about the Bushwackers some late night after the card, and they would fill their rent-a-car full of fast food at McDonald's, Burger King. I think I heard the story once that Luke would, after the matches, wanted to always make his perfect meal, and he would go to McDonald's and he would get his French fries. He had to have the McDonald's French fries. Then he'd go to Wendy's because he loved their fountain drinks, and he'd go get that. And then he'd go to BK, and he'd hit up Burger King and have to get himself a double Whopper. And then he'd go to KFC and get a couple of chicken legs or whatever, and then build his basket. And that's what he loved to do after a late night at the cards. And that's probably totally wrong, but somebody can fact check that if that's right or not. But that's what I heard, and I think that's why they put this in there in the set. But let's look at the side there. You got the Bushwackers right there. On the side, Butch and Luke. I always preferred it Luke and Butch. Maybe I'm weird. There they are on the side. I love that side shot, though. How cool is that side image? Just awesome. These figures hold up. I still think they do. There's those same images up top. Promoting Series 6 down below. I believe that's Series 6 off the top of my head. Is that Series 6 or Series 9? Maybe it's Series 9. Could be Series 9. And then we got the little file cards on them. Let's see what it says about old Luke and Butch. Luke debuted 1973, 6 feet tall, 248 pounds. Finishing move, the Battling Ram. Butch debuted 1972, 6'1", 231 pounds. Finishing move, the Double Gut Buster. Very interesting. But like I said, I really like the likenesses on this one. I think this is a solid 2-pack. Really stands right up there with the Mattels in my version, or in my vision of my favorite Bushwhacker figures. If I think Bushwhacker figures, these might be the 2. They might have passed Hasbro's in my mind. It's close. Obviously, a lot of time as a kid playing with those Hasbro's, but these were the definite Bushwhackers, if you ask me, even over the Mattel. So, does have that going for it. Very cool, and my favorite of the set of Classic Tag Team Series 3. Now let's look at the other 2. All right, next up in Classic Tag Team Series 3, we've got Stone Cold and Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper makes another return, and Stone Cold makes another return to the line. Now together, where they were separate in Series 2. So, I don't know. This was the one that scratched my head. I didn't want this in Classic Tag Teams. I believe this recaptures that WrestleMania moment on, what was it, a Piper's Pit with Austin or something like that, if I remember correctly. It just didn't seem right to me to get this. And I remember I bought 2 of these at the time for some reason. I guess I just needed 2 sets, and I opened one up, and I had this Austin. I really like the Austin. I kind of soured on this Piper a little bit. I don't know. I guess it's okay. All these years later, like a lot of Jakks figures, it is a moment in time. It is 2 Hall of Famers from a pivotal point. Well, I don't know, pivotal, but it was a Mania moment, I guess. So I guess you can justify it being in the Jakks series, but at the time, I was like, man, this is a wasted spot. Why can't I have the Rock and Roll Express? Why can't I have the Brain Busters? Why can't I have some famous tag team? Akeem and Big Boss Man, the Twin Towers, Natural Disasters. That's what I wanted out of this line, and I felt like it was turning into every once in a while we get a tag team, and then we're just going to throw 2 people we got signed to Jakks that we can throw in here. And that's kind of what this seemed like to me. So I wasn't really happy. Nothing against 2 characters. We'll talk about the figures a little bit, but that's just how I saw it. Maybe you guys did. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. I do like this Austin as far as like a street gear Austin. I thought it always looked okay. I like the extra cooler with the beer and Piper with a microphone. That makes sense to me. The Piper, not my favorite Piper. He's kind of got a little, I don't know. It's all right, but it's not the best. It's not what I want out of my Piper for this, and I don't know if it's even accurate. Maybe it is, but I don't know. Just not a lot to this set for me. You get the side there and the names. And we got the glamour shots on the side. Hot Rod and Stone Cold. And, of course, the back. The Austin is very solid as far as Street Gear Austin, coming to the microphone Austin. And I remember using this with my traditional Ruthless Aggression figures is where I used that Austin. I thought it was one of the best representations in Jakks of Austin. As you guys know, we got kind of a muscle-bound peanut head one in the previous set. That one wasn't going to fly. And I like this one a lot. And the Piper's just not as good as the original Jakks one, or even the one in the last pack, I don't think. So that's me. Let's read the back here. Stone Cold debuted 1989, 252 pounds, 6'2". Finishing move, the Stone Cold Stunner. Roddy Piper, 1972, 231 pounds, 6'1", and his finishing move is the Sleeper. So there it is. Just one of those packs. Didn't really set me off. Didn't really change my world. I listed all those tag teams I would have rather had in place of this. It is what it is. This is what we got, and I guess that's all you can say. So let's get to the last one, and it is a true tag team one, and it is the Wild Samoans. All right, the final set in Classic Tag Team Series 3 was the Wild Samoans, and at the time, a bit of a letdown for me. To say I'm the biggest Wild Samoans guy in the world would be a total understatement. I knew of them at the time. I wasn't totally immersed in them. I don't think the WWE On Demand had really started yet. I was a tape trader back in the day, a lot of Japan stuff, a lot of hardcore stuff like that from Japan. I didn't really get classic WWF or stuff like that where I was super familiar with the Wild Samoans and their matches. I obviously knew Captain Lou was their manager, stuff like that. But out of all the tag teams that we could have got, obviously this isn't one that came to my mind immediately. In the last section on the Austin and Piper, I listed down all those tag teams I would have liked, and I would have liked them over this one as well. As time's gone on and I've watched more tape and more videos, obviously the Wild Samoans totally belong in here. We even got a Mattel version of this 2-pack as a Target exclusive. And both those 2-packs had something in common. They both went to the clearance bins, unfortunately. I guess the modern fans and the general public weren't ready for Wild Samoans figures. Just didn't do anything for them, I guess. So there you go. That's the Wild Samoans. But inherently, this is a pretty good pack. This is actually a pretty solid pack. And it's deserved to be in the line, like I said. And we actually get the Wild Samoans again in the Jakks Classic Superstars line with the Walmart exclusive 3-pack with Captain Lou Albano. So we'll get to that down the road. But this one sat in clearance bins for years in Toys R Us's everywhere. And I remember passing on this one. I bought the Bushwackers right away. I passed on the others. Then I ended up buying Piper and Austin, and then a little while later I ended up getting Piper and Austin another one to open up, and then I got this one on clearance. This one's a little beat up packaging wise. A couple of these are more beat up than I thought. This one I might replace one of these days. No rush, but I might replace it, like I said. So let's take a look. There they are. Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans. A heavy box, obviously 2 big figures. They come with their sarongs. One has them on, one has it off. I think that's cool. And then we got 2. Yes, count them, 2 accessories here. We got that cookie sheet. A lot of great cookie sheet stories we've told over the times in our Jakks videos, and a lot of ring bell stories. But this one's not as famous. Actually, these guys were supposed to come with a bunch of raw meat, like a big ham steak and all this stuff. That was what they're going to say. They're really wild. They'll eat raw meat. They'll eat chicken, stuff like that. That's what was supposed to be in here. Instead, somebody messed up, costs were cut, and they said, just throw in that famous ring bell and that famous cookie sheet. Put those in there. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. Somebody can fact check that if they want, but I'm pretty sure that's right. But not inherently bad. Great face scans on these. The touch of the sarong is awesome. I think that's an extra bonus. I'm glad they gave us those and not just those 2 accessories. Really good looking pack, but I can understand how it didn't resonate with kids and peak collectors at the time. I mean, this is probably 2005. Yep, 2005. There you go, Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans. Oh, they're wild. And there's the side picture. Look at that. Crazy. And, of course, the back. There they are. You got the whole lineup down below of Series 9, I believe. Series 6 or Series 9. For some reason, I'm confused. And then you got the top. So let's see what it says about them up here. Afa debuted 1971. 326 pounds, 6'2". Finishing move, the Samoan drop. Titles, World Tag Team Champion. And then you got Sika, 1975, 319 pounds, 6'2", finishing move Samoan drop. And then the titles, WWE World Tag Team Champion. As we all know, the Samoans, Hall of Famers, Roman Reigns' dad here. A lot of history to the Samoan family. But not a lot of history as far as moving a lot of product on the shelves, and a pretty deep history going to the clearance bins with the Jakks and the Mattel later on. I don't know if we'll ever get the Wild Samoans again. I really don't see that happening. But you never know. Yeah, I guess anything is possible, but I think history tells us, unfortunately, they are peg warmers. And I don't know if there's any change in that now, unless you put a Roman Reigns in here or something like that. I don't know. But there you have it. Classic Tag Team Series 3 by Jakks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like it. Leave me a comment. Did you find any of these? Did you collect these? Were you as let down kind of as I was? Were you really scratching your head on this set? And you know, this is Series 3. We had no idea. Would there be a Series 4? We didn't know until you showed up to the store. And that's how I remember the whole story and the whole tag teams and stuff like that. So Series 4 we'll do next week. I think it gets a little better. Maybe a tad better. Not exactly where we want it, but it's on its way. But you guys let me know any comments, your thoughts on these. Like I said, like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're doing Jakks videos every single Tuesday until we can't. That's the plan. So for the Jakks Classic Superstars Series 3, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.